Hi, my name is Trevor, and I am so excited to be presenting at Virtual Gatsby Days. I'm a web developer at Apollo, and for those who don't know, Apollo creates tools that allow developers like you and I to use GraphQL in the websites and apps that we build. The title of my talk is The Developer Experience because at Apollo, I work on the developer experience, or DX team. Team DX creates content for developers to get up and running with our products and start using GraphQL. Things like blog posts and documentation, tutorials, and we organize community events like the upcoming GraphQL Summit Worldwide. And all of this stuff needs a place to live. So the part that I'm most involved with is building websites to house it. And over time, we've been incrementally adopting Gatsby as a web development tool, starting with our marketing website that you see in the top left of the screen there. And then when it came time to rebuild our documentation website, we thought Gatsby would be a great fit for that. And we actually used the then experimental Gatsby themes feature to accomplish this. Then earlier this year, we rebuilt our blog using Gatsby and WordPress as a data source. And the GraphQL Summit website is also built with Gatsby using a Google Sheet as a data source. So it's safe to say that here on Team DX, we really enjoy using Gatsby. And here are a few of the reasons why. Firstly, the output is great. It's blazing fast, as advertised. The static builds really work well with the type of content that we produce. Gatsby allows us to use tools that we're already really familiar with, things like React and GraphQL. And the point that I want to touch on today is the amazing local development experience that Gatsby provides. So today I'm going to be talking to you about a few of my favorite things about developing locally using Gatsby. These things are hot module reloading, using GraphQL as a data layer, and Gatsby's plugin ecosystem, but specifically looking at plugins that enhance your local development experience. All of these things culminate into something that I like to call developer happiness. So let's get right into it, starting with hot module reloading. This describes a feature where when you make a change, the change is reflected in only the part of your app that was changed. It means that you can avoid reloading the entire page every time something on that page is changed. And this might be something that we're all really familiar with, or maybe we don't even realize it's happening at all because it's so fluid. But I don't want to take it for granted, and I want to touch on it briefly here. Hot module reloading is important because it means that your app state persists between the changes that you make. It also means for our case, if we're developing something halfway down a long page like documentation or a blog post, your scroll position is maintained and the context that you're working within stays the same. All of this means that the feedback loop between making a change and seeing the result is shortened dramatically, which increases your speed of iteration on a website. To demonstrate this, I put together a simple example, and I hope you'll humor me here. This is a counter where you have a button. When it's clicked, it increments some count state. But there's a twist. With this counter, when the count exceeds 5, we render a puppy emoji after the text. So we'll get up to 6, and there's the puppy emoji. But let's say we want to change this puppy emoji to a lizard instead. Notice that hot module reloading is off right now. When we edit this file, changing that puppy emoji to a lizard, the state gets reset, and we have to click 6 times to verify that our change was successful, which it was. That's great. Now, that same example with hot module reloading on, looks something like this. If we want to change this lizard back to a puppy, we'll click 6 times, we get a lizard, edit the file, and the puppy gets edited in place, which is really, really awesome. It means that that feedback loop, like I said, between making the change and seeing the results is shortened dramatically. 6 clicks in this case. This is a trivial example, but it should illustrate the merits of this great feature and why it's important for developing locally. Moving on, I want to talk about GraphQL as a data layer. GraphQL allows us to express our components' data requirements very clearly. Looking at this static query at the top of my homepage component here, I can look at this query and already get a sense for what is going to follow in the rest of this component. I'm querying for all WordPress posts. I'm getting the date, title, and excerpt for each of them. So I can kind of get a vision for what I could expect in the rest of this component just by looking at this query. But beyond that, using GraphQL as a data layer also means that all of my website's static data is organized in one central place. I could have data coming from many disparate sources, but I'm able to interact with it all through one mechanism, which is GraphQL in this case. GraphQL queries in Gatsby also benefit from hot module reloading, the feature that we just talked about. So when I change a field or apply some different arguments to a field that I've already got, those changes are reflected in place without having to reload the entire page. Gatsby also provides awesome tools to browse my graph and compose queries, and I'm going to talk about that right now. You're all probably familiar with seeing this message in your console with 2 links. One for your local development environment, and the other for your graphical IDE. When you click this, magic happens. If you've ever ordered a pizza online, you're probably familiar with this kind of interface. Below you have a number of checkboxes representing each of the options that you have for your pizza that you're making, your list of toppings here. And as you click on the toppings, you can see the results of your choices being reflected in this pizza diagram above. If you like this kind of interface, then Graphical's Query Builder is going to feel really nice to you. On the left, you have a list of all of the different fields available to you, your toppings in this case, and when you select them, you get your query built in the middle column, and you can run this query to see what the results would be, or you can just copy it and paste it in your Gatsby website as a page query or a static query, and you can rest assured that this is going to work. Graphical, in short, allows you to build queries just like you would build a pizza. And that brings us to the last thing I wanted to talk about today, which is plugins for local development. So if you've been using Gatsby for a while, you're probably familiar with the rich plugin ecosystem that comes along with it. Plugins that allow you to bring in data from third-party sources or integrate with popular JavaScript libraries. But there's another class of plugins that I want to touch on that add value to your development environment in some way. Plugins like Gatsby plugin-ngrok-tunneling, which exposes a publicly accessible URL for your local development environment. This is really useful if you're trying to debug something that you're seeing locally with a colleague that's not anywhere near you, which is definitely the case for a lot of us, at least this year. This allows you to just paste a link to them, and they get to see exactly what's happening in your local development environment on their computer and click around themselves. When we were building the documentation, our documentation theme, we created this Gatsby remark plugin that checks for broken links between Markdown documents. This is really powerful, and I'm going to touch on this in a second, along with Gatsby Source-Wordpress-experimental, which is another really powerful local development plugin, along with being a WordPress source plugin. If you missed Jason Ball and Tyler Barnes' talk about this new source, I highly suggest you go back and check that out. It's absolutely mind-blowing stuff, and I couldn't recommend it enough. So I want to talk a little bit about our broken link checker. This was really useful because it allows us to statically analyze Markdown during the build phase, meaning that when you make a change to a Markdown file, it compares all the links in your Markdown file with all of the other pages that it could possibly link to. And if that link doesn't resolve to anything that currently exists, you'll get a warning in your console. And this is really useful when we're writing docs to make sure that we have no broken links throughout our pages. And when our site builds in production, we cause the build to actually fail if it encounters broken links, which means that we're never deploying anything that has broken links between any pages. So really useful for us in that case. This is what the console output looks like. It shows you what page the broken link was found on, what the broken link's content was, and it even shows you the line and column number where it encountered that link. So this was something that certainly improved our local development experience and increased the quality of our docs as a result. And finally, I want to show you this awesome plugin, Gatsby Source-Wordpress-experimental, and the hot reloading content feature that it boasts. So on the right, you see my WordPress post editor interface where I'm changing the word introducing to announcing. And on the left, the word introducing automatically just gets updated as soon as the post is saved on the right. And this change is made as like a same thing, like hot module reloading style. All of the app state that exists in your site is persisted between these changes, and the content is updated in place, which is really, really useful because it increases that feedback loop. If I need to experiment with different content types coming from WordPress, I can do so very quickly using this plugin versus what I used to have to do, which would be restarting my entire development server and sourcing the new content and then finally observing the change. Long feedback loop in that case, dramatically shortened by this plugin. Those are 3 plugins that came to mind right away, but I'm probably missing a lot more. If there's any Gatsby plugins that improve your local development experience, please let me know. Drop a comment below or find me on Twitter and reach out. I'd love to talk about it and would love to further improve our local development experience in the websites that we build here. So hopefully I've conveyed through all these features that I just talked about how Gatsby provides us developer happiness when we're creating websites on TeamDX. And just to reiterate, those 3 features are hot module reloading, using GraphQL as a data layer, and Gatsby's plugins for local development. That's all I've got. You can check out these slides at experience.trevorblades.com. You can find me on the internet at Trevor Blades. And if you have any questions or you just want to reach out and say what's up, please find me on Twitter and let's chat. Thanks a lot for listening, and hope you have a great day.